Shiny Pokemon. Since their introduction in Generation 2, shiny Pokemon have been highly thought after by many Pokemon trainers. And throughout the generations, many changes have been made to our sparkly friends. From giving a free shiny in the form of the red Gyarados to now having certain Pokemon locked from being shiny. Shiny hunting in general have gone through many changes. For instance, for the first 5 generations, the odds of encountering a shiny Pokemon were 1 in 8,192. And sure, there is the shiny charm, but that required you to finish the Pokedex. And if you don't have a friend to help you trade for those game exclusive Pokemon, that wasn't happening. To start of Generation 6, the odds were reduced, going from 1 in every 8,192 to 1 in every 4,096. Now I'm sure you're probably going, "Wheels, I knew this already. Why are you telling me this again?" Well, you see, a while back ago, I did a video where I challenged myself to catch 1 shiny Pokemon from every generation. Now sure, that doesn't sound too hard. With some time, I would be able to complete it. But the problem with that was that I only had 24 hours to complete it. And well, after starting off really well, I ended up failing the challenge. You see, with all the hype going into Scarlet Violet, I decided to do generations 1 through 8. And in the end, I only finished 4 out of the 8. So after some time passing and getting my hands on Generation 9 and having to play a few hours of it, I thought to myself, with the new gen, why not do it again? As for how this was going down, well, simple. Because Scarlet and Violet are the newest additions to the series, I decided to do the entire challenge in the Paldea region. You see, Generation 9 did a really good job of mixing Pokemon from every region despite the condensed Pokedex. Plus, the various ways you could shiny hunt in those games, with enough time, you're bound to get what you're looking for. But of course, this is a challenge, and I wanted to make sure that it felt like it. And I know many of you guys are going to say that Scarlet and Violet is practically one of the easiest Pokemon games to get a shiny next to Legends Arceus. And in all honesty, I can't really counter that statement. But in the end of the day, it really comes down to a player's luck. And well, if you've seen me enough, my luck is really bad. But I did put some factors in order to make this into a challenge. Like for instance, I decided to ban myself from using Herba Mysticas. If you're unsure what Herba Mysticas are, they're basically rare herbs that you get from level 5 and above Terra raids. And if you collect the 5 different herbs, they allow you to add to your meal power and give you boosts to that particular meal power. On top of that, these herbs are one of the best ways to boost your odds to finding shiny Pokemon, as if you create the perfect meal power, they can grant you sparkling meal power that boosts the shiny odds from normal 1 in 4,096 to 1 in 1,024. Add on, if you already unlocked the shiny charm, the odds of you finding a shiny are really high. I also barred myself from using one Pokemon for multiple generations. Now I know that might sound confusing. You might go, "Wheels, how can a Pokemon that was introduced in Generation 1 can also be used for, let's say, Generation 9? Simple. Throughout the years, Game Freak has introduced new evolutions to existing Pokemon. There are various examples I could give, but one perfect one I can show is Mankey. Mankey was introduced in Generation 1 with its evolution Primate, and for the last 8 generations, it really hasn't been touched. In comes Generation 9 introducing Annihilate. With its new evolution, Mankey now has a new tree line where it can get even stronger in its final fighting ghost form, and no longer be that Pokemon that stole Ash's hat. With this rule, if I catch a Mankey, I must say which generation it's going to represent. If I say Generation 1, I cannot evolve it into Annihilate to represent Generation 9. In fact, with this rule in place, that means I need to counter 1 brand new shiny for every generation. I also kept a very soft rule where I must go in order, starting from Generation 1 all the way up to Generation 9. Now, you might be wondering, what do I mean by soft rule? You see, I am required to go in order, meaning if I start Generation 1, I must complete Generation 1. Even if I can't find it, I cannot skip to the next generation or a particular generation until I find that generation. But the soft part of this rule comes in where if I find a shiny Pokemon from a different generation on accident, meaning if I am looking for, let's say, Generation 2, and I by chance run into a Generation 6 Pokemon, I am free to catch that Pokemon and count it for Generation 6. I just cannot purposely skip a generation just because I can't find that particular generation. And lastly, you guys know the final rule is that I must complete this in under 24 hours. So let's see if I can catch 1 shiny Pokemon from every generation in under 24 hours. Will I fail this challenge again? Or will I finally be able to complete it? Also, let me know in the comment section below if this is something you could do. I'm very interested to see and find out. With that being said, start the clock as our 24-hour challenge to catch one shiny in every region commences. Our 24-hour clock has started, and with that, we're starting with Generation 1. And Generation 1 has some really cool shinies, especially represented in the Paldea region. But in the end, we decided to go with Shiny Charmander. You see, originally, Charmander wasn't the original Pokedex of Scarlet and Violet, but later on, Scarlet and Violet introduced Terra events. This is where a very short period of time you're able to find level 7 Terra raids of a specific Pokemon, and defeating them granted you one-time catch of this Pokemon with a rare Terra, and for most of them, hidden abilities with really good IVs. And the first Terra event ever was Charizard. Unfortunately for me, I never got the chance to do this event, but luckily while I was trying to complete the Pokedex, I was able to obtain a Charmander through a surprise trade. So before we started a 24-hour challenge, I decided to make a bunch of eggs beforehand. Like that, when the challenge starts, all we had to do was hatch and hopefully we get one quickly. And after a little over an hour and 150 eggs in, we finally get our first shiny and Shiny Charmander. I got Pokemon or shinies to get Charmander. Come on. Come on, be shiny already. Yes! Yes! Yes, 150 Shiny Charmander, Generation 1 in the books. Let's go. Let's go. Now, unlike the last 24-hour challenge, Gen 2 is no longer free. I can no longer just play through Crystal or Silver and just get to the red Gyarados and boom, free shiny. I actually had to work for this one. So I decided to pull up the map. And well, deciding I want to hunt for Generation 2, I noticed that there was a Quillfish outbreak. Don't mind if I do. You see, I love water Pokemon, so any chance I could get a shiny water Pokemon, I'm all for it. Now, if you haven't played Scarlet and Violet or Legends Arceus, you may be wondering, what is an outbreak? Simple. When it comes down to outbreaks in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the more Pokemon you defeat in that outbreak, the higher the odds are to get into a shiny. When you defeat 30 or more encounters, your odds drop from initial 1 in 4096 to 1 in 2048. And after defeating 60 or more encounters, your odds drop even lower to 1 in 1365. And if you manage to get the shiny charm, your odds drop even lower to 1 in 819. Now you do have to watch out, as outbreaks do not last forever. There is a specific amount of Pokemon that spawn during these outbreaks, and if you manage to take out every single one, the outbreak is done. So it's recommended after reaching 60 to just keep resetting the counters by leaving the area, or better yet, setting up a picnic table, as every time you set up a picnic and leave a picnic, you create brand new spawns. So with a bit of patience, you're always bound to find yourself with a shiny Pokemon. But it turns out, Generation 2 is always free when it comes down to shiny Pokemon. Let's go! Generation 2 in the books! Let's go! Oh! Critical catch! Let's go! Shiny Quillfish in the books in like 10 minutes! Not even a minute after defeating our 60th Quillfish, we finally get our pink pufferfish. Gen 2 in the books, and not even 2 hours into the challenge, we now have 2 shiny Pokemon. Maybe this is easier than I thought it was going to be. Also, real quick, when I mean Gen 2 is free, I literally mean free. It's Muck. I find it funny that Muck spawns here. Does Curlia not spawn here? The Crabman himself. No shot! It doesn't count! No! But yo, I take it. I'll take the shiny Meryl. We'll add it. What? What? I wasn't even trying to get a shiny Meryl. I'm trying to find Curlia, bruh. And it's critical catch. Shiny Meryl. Yeah, luckily for us, while we were setting up for our next spot to hunt for Generation 3, we ran into another shiny. And this shiny, I just love it. But Gen 3 is on the clock, and honestly, Gen 3 is the best generation that Game Freak has ever made. Yeah, I said it. Most Pokemon in this generation are just straight fire. So to choose one, it was going to be difficult. But in the end, I decided to go with Curlia. Now, so far, I have shown you two out of the many ways to shiny hunt in Scarlet and Violet. First was this Masuda method, then there was the Outbreak. Next up, Meal Power. You see, Curlia only spawns in specific locations. On top of that, it's one of the rare spawns, meaning you're barely gonna see it. So it's time for Meal Power. And before, I already see in the comment section down below, someone that wasn't paying attention going, "Wheels, you said that you can't use Meal Power for this challenge." No, I said I'm not allowed to use Herba Mysticas in this challenge. Meal Powers are free to use. You see, Meal Power can help with the spawn of certain typings. But as long as there's no sparkly power, your odds to find a shiny are still the same. So after creating a Meal Power to help me spawn fairy types, I started my hunt for shiny Curlia. And let me tell you, shiny Curlia brought me back down to earth and showed me how bad my luck really is. We're now 5 hours into our 24-hour challenge for catching one shiny Pokemon in every generation, and after a little bit of patience, we finally get the shiny for Generation 3 in the books. Well, it should have been in the books. Let's go! Shiny Curlia for Generation 3! Let's go! Blue, 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 blue. You know what? Perfect for a quick ball. Alright, Generation 3. It took about an hour, but we got it. No! Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the perfect example of why you should always save before encountering a shiny in any Pokemon game. I was hunting for this for almost 3 hours at this point, and I just let it go through my fingers. And let me tell you something, up to this point now, I still have not been able to find that shiny Curlia, and I'm close to almost 5,000 encounters at this point. It just still mocks me to this day. Now obviously I just kind of gave away that I never found another shiny Curlia, but during the challenge I was actually hopeful I was going to get it again. There was an additional problem I had besides letting the Curlia get away, and that is that Curlia is one of those Pokemon that only spawns at a specific time of day. So even with the Meal Power, once it becomes nighttime, it just didn't spawn. So I was spending at least half an hour just looking for Curlia, and then the last half hour just kind of not really doing anything because I can't really skip it as I already decided to go for it. And well, not skip the actual Pokemon, just skip the generation. But luckily for me, in the same spawn that we were hunting for shiny Curlia, during the nighttime spawns, we got to see Shuppets spawn. And a little less than an hour after letting shiny Curlia get away out of my hands, we were able to find a shiny Shuppet during the nighttime to help us put in Generation 3 in the books. Oh, there it is! Right? I forgot to save! If I run, does it stay there? Shiny Shuppet! Okay, we're doing Curlia later. This is our Gen 3 shiny. This is our Gen 3 shiny. Wait, it's Gen 3, right? Shut the... Okay, well... I knew it's a shiny. Oh, it's a critical catch. Now it's a critical catch. Now you get a critical catch. Now it's a critical. I'm so sad. No, Shuppet is Gen 3. After spending 10 minutes fighting with my chat at how Ludicolo is such an amazing Pokemon, it was time to start Generation 4. Just like Generation 3, we bring up the map to see where we're gonna look to go to hunt for Generation 4. And we notice another outbreak, Bronzons. Now if you remember earlier, we did this with Quillfish, where we did the outbreak and not even 15 minutes into the outbreak, we found the shiny Quillfish. So I kind of put two and two together and I was like, okay, this is gonna be quick. Now, one thing I didn't say at the beginning of this video is that I actually had one additional rule. And really, it was a rule that would keep me awake as I do these 24-hour challenges in one sitting. And that rule was that I had to do 5 push-ups at the end of every hour. Now sure, that might not sound difficult, but the problem is that I need to add on an additional 5 push-ups for every hour that we don't find a shiny. So during the Curlia hunt, I was going almost to 20 as I went 2 to 3 hours without finding a shiny. And we're reaching that again with Bronzong. But lucky for us, a different Generation 4 Pokemon showed up while we were looking for Bronzong. Wait, let's go! Generation 4! Shiny Snover! Oh, we don't need the ugly Bronzong. Let's go! Being paralyzed is no excuse to miss leg day. Come on, stay in the ball. Critical catch. Let's go. I'm actually happy with shiny Snover. The only reason why I went with Bronzong is because the last time we did an outbreak, it went by really quickly. I'd rather have the blue shiny that Snover is than the green or ugly dark green that Bell is. 7.5 hours in and we're officially now tied with the last time we did this challenge. 4 shiny Pokemon for 4 generations. With that, it's time to start for Generation 5. And let me tell you, up until this point, Gen 5 is like one of those few gens I just do not like. I don't know why. I played some Nuzlocke with Gen 5 and I just felt it was so slow. And well, I gave it, a benefit of the doubt at this time around. So with Gen 5 on the clock, we went for Rufflet. Well, because you guys already know, I see an outbreak and well, outbreaks usually tend to go pretty quickly. Not only that, where the Rufflet was having an outbreak, it spawns naturally, so I felt like it was gonna have more odds of bringing in a shiny. It's now been 4 hours since I started hunting for the shiny Rufflet. And let me tell you something. At this point, not only am I exhausted, my arms were killing me as I was going at 25 push-ups plus all the other push-ups I've been doing. So I make a tactical decision. Listen, I can't skip a generation. Obviously, it's against the rules, but nothing says I can't change the Pokemon that I was hunting for. And sure, this may be the dumbest idea as I've been going for this long already, so eventually I'll find a shiny Rufflet, but I was getting tired of seeing those goddamn fur balls. So I decided to take out the rest of the Rufflets in the outbreak and hoping maybe one will shine, but obviously it didn't. And I decided to switch up my Pokemon and decided to go for shiny Bisharp. Now at this point, I'm making a switch so deep into this challenge. I'm literally halfway through this challenge and I'm still at 4. And it was just bringing back memories of the last time I did this challenge where I finished with 4. And I was actually on a good rate last time and it just ended momentum. So my hope was that Bisharp would bring me back home. It's now been 6 hours since I started my hunt for Generation 5. And let me tell you, this was the moment Generation 5 could turn itself around and get it on my good side. Like I said when I first started this, I wasn't like I haven't enjoyed Generation 5. Gameplay was really slow. Most of the Pokemon are okay. So I was like, you know what, Gen 5, this is your time to get on my good side. And yeah, here we are. In fact, I'm hunting for a blue shiny Pokemon, and yeah, I found a blue shiny Pokemon, alright. No shot. No. That's the wrong shiny. That's not the shiny I want. It's blue, yeah, sure. Yeah, what's funny is like I've gotten so many shiny Golducks in this game, but it's okay because literally 30 minutes after finding the shiny Golduck, we finally run into shiny Bisharp. Wait, let's go! Finally! Let's go! Over 1,000 encounters, but we get it! Shiny Bisharp! Generation 5 took fucking 5 hours. Oh my god, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, I already know we need a blue ball. Well over 1,000 encounters to get this guy. There we go. Critical catch. Shiny Bisharp. Let's go. Generation 5 is finally in the books. And you know what's funny that I found ironic is that in total, between the Rufflet and the Bisharp, I actually spent just a little under 6 hours hunting. So it was around like 5 going into 6. So I was like, you know, pretty funny that Gen 5 took 5 hours. But here we are. I thought that was pretty funny. But after 3,000 encounters in total between the two mons and well over 50 push-ups, that's you know, that's just from freaking that time, not including all the other push-ups I've done up until this point. It was time to hunt for X and Y, more so Generation 6. As for Generation 6, I went for Hawlucha. I always felt that Hawlucha was such a cool design, but I've never gotten a shiny Hawlucha, and honestly, I still don't know how I feel about shiny Hawlucha, but just the design of the Pokemon is so cool, I just decided to go for it. And with just 10 hours left in this challenge, we better hope we get it quickly because we still have Generation 7, 8, and 9 waiting in the back. Well, actually, just Generation 7 and 9, because 20 minutes into our hunt for Hawlucha, we end up finding shiny Indeedee. Get off the fucking thing, holy shit. Wait, is that a shiny? It is a shiny. Generation 8. That's Generation 8. Yo, we don't have to worry about Generation 8. We skipped Generation 8 because we accidentally found a shiny Indeedee. Hey, let's go. Yo, I'll take it. I will take it. But, ooh, critical catch. Alright, I am gonna save it. Now remember, the rule states that I cannot purposely switch generations. I have to go in order. But I am free to count any shiny that I count accidentally. And well, I was actually looking for Hawlucha when the Indeedee showed, so it counts. Also, you know what is a good thing to pair with a male shiny Indeedee? How about a female one? No shot, bro. Are you joking? Are you joking? I got both male and female shiny Indeedee. Oh, we got the Indeedee, I guess. Remember after Generation 2 where I said this actually might be easier than I thought? That turns out that's not very true, and that my luck really has come back down to earth. But at least it only took 2.5 hours to finally get Generation 6 in the books, finding Shiny Halucha. 7. There it is! Let's go! Shiny Halucha. At 7, I want to say 740. Yeah, definitely. Oh, they're critical catch. Let's go. Let's go. Definitely faster than both of them combined. Generation 6 is in the books, and all that's left is Generation 7 and 9. And, well, we only have 7 hours left to find the final 2 shinies. Now, that might sound like a lot of time, but remember what I said earlier. I thought this was easy, and here we are with 7 hours left with 2 shinies left. The last 2 generations have not been kind to me, so I kind of feel like this is about to go down to the wire. Hopefully not, but we can't think about that right now because we have the Sun and Moon series up next. And let me tell you, Generation 7 has a special place in my heart. Generation 7 was the first game that I ever shiny hunted in. In fact, the very first Pokemon that I decided to go after is like one of my favorite shinies to go after, and it was Shiny Grubbin because Shiny Vikavolt is such a cool design. But there was one more shiny that I never was able to get, and I still to this day have been looking for, and that is Shiny Rockruff. So I went to the next best destination to look for Rockruff, got my male power going, and started my hunt for Shiny Rockruff. It's now been 2 hours since we started hunting for Shiny Rockruff. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little scared because we have 5 hours left and we still have these 2 shinies to find. In fact, during all this, I ended up finding a shiny Skittle, which it was the most random thing ever. It's not the one we need, but it's a shiny, I guess. Yeah. You're a lucky charm. You're a lucky charm. All credit goes for you. You know what? I'll even name it Spyro. Shiny Skittle. But that little guy was the luck we needed because not too long after we found our blue doggo. Wait, is that it? Let's go. Shiny Rockruff, 887 encounters. Let's go. Critical catch. Let's go. Let's go. Shiny Rockruff is in our possession, and finally Generation 7 is in the books. 5 hours to go, 1 shiny left. Doable. Freaking doable. Now, the minute I decided to do this challenge, I already knew what Pokemon I was looking for Generation 9. If you've seen me stream, you already know that I really love Annihilate. But there is actually one more Pokemon that I find that's just been the most absolute amazing Pokemon that Generation 9 has ever presented. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Shiny Lechonk. Is arguably the greatest Pokemon Game Freak has introduced in Scarlet and Violet. Like I said, I love Annihilate, but this little fella is just amazing. Design, great. Name, perfect. And cuteness, off the charts. So what can I say? I had to go for it. And with well over 4 hours left in this challenge, there's no way I do not get this, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If you were to tell me that almost 5 hours to find one shiny Pokemon was not enough time, I would not believe you. But my god, did this little piggy make me work for it. I was losing my mind at this point. I had been up for like 21 hours up until this point of the challenge, and I still have not found the piggy. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but prior to this challenge, I have already done a couple of hours looking for the pink pig itself. So in total, I was going into 6 hours trying to find a shiny pig. So if you were to tell me that the one mon that I really wanted was going to be the reason I failed this challenge, I wouldn't believe you. But luckily, after 21.5 hours, we have finally completed the challenge as the pink pig shows up. Wait, finally! Oh my god! Shiny pig, 1,360 encounters. It exists. It exists. Oh my god. Took almost 2 hours. Oh man. Well, there you have it. I finally complete the challenge of catching one shiny Pokemon of every generation in 24 hours. And honestly, going into this challenge, since I was doing it in Scarlet and Violet, I honestly thought I was gonna finish it much quicker. You see, up until this point, I was actually getting a lot of shiny Pokemon. So I was like, yo, this is my game. This is the one where I could finally be able to get the shiny Pokemon I want. But I guess when it comes down to it being on the clock and actually looking, they just didn't want to play nice. Anyways, let me know how I did in the comment section down below. Do you think you could complete this? And also let me know what other 24-hour challenges you guys want to see. I love doing these type of challenges. In fact, if you're ever interested in seeing these challenges live, as I actually do it from start to finish non-stop, make sure to check out the Twitch that's linked down in the description down below. I'm there live constantly, not only doing these 24-hour challenges, but also doing different challenges as well, like Nuzlocke and just casually hanging out with you guys and shiny hunting. Finally, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. I put a lot of effort into these videos, and sometimes they kind of take a rather long time to make. But you know, I really like doing these videos, so if you guys are enjoying them, it makes me want to do more of them, especially since, you know, these challenges require me to be up for a very long time as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed them, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe as well, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any other challenges that I have done. But yeah, until next time. And if you find a shiny Corellia, can you let me know, please? Please, because that one teleport away is still missing. It's still missing. All right, Generation 3. It took about an hour, but we got it. No.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!